Well, hey, looks like I'm actually live. Sorry about that. Running from back-to-back calls today, so apologies for being a little bit late. But hey, it's Jeff Ross here, your caffeinated kangaroo, bouncing into your screen for day 24 of our 30-day Shopley Affiliate Challenge. And we've had a really great ride, haven't we? And probably going to continue to do these even after the next 30 days. And we'll keep this train on the tracks and we'll keep going because I'm just loving showing up in this space to be able to create some intentionality around servanthood leadership to empower you, to equip you, to help you guys to really step up to the mark and get everything that you need. Here's my mate Dave Miller, jumping in off the last call with me to come to this one. So hey Dave, we're up to day 24 of the 30-day Shopley.
That's crazy. Sorry, I just lost you there for a second. What happened there? But anyway, I just can't believe that we're getting very, very close to the end of it. And it's just been an amazing challenge, really. So,
well, it's the end of this chapter. It's coming close to the end of this chapter. But I discussed yesterday, and I've discussed it a couple of days ago, mate. I think we need to keep this ship going. I think we need to, probably look at our schedules a bit and whatnot, but at least every day come up and show up for 10, 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, do a little masterclass, do a little training, do a little back and forth. I'm loving the daily rhythm that we've got going here.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Not sure what's going on, whether it's my tech or your tech, but every time you seem to finish there, I get a black circle on your side. So I only hear 3/4 of it, and I'm guessing what the rest of it is. So sorry about that.
I think I've got too many tabs open. So let me close a few tabs down, see if I can help support the bandwidth issue here. And not sure if that's going to help anything. Good old tech. You got to love it when it works, right?
I do. Could be me too. Who knows?
No, I think it is me. I think I've got a bit of a frozen stuff going on here. So let me just close a few things down. Let's see if that helps. I'm not sure if that has helped or not. But anyway, all right, guys. It looks like we're all good to go. So thank you very much for tuning in for day 24 of our 30-day Shopley Affiliate Challenge. Joanne Rolls is tuning in live from Tassie. Thank you very much. Let's get into today's discussion. So basically, Dave, you actually can stay on board for the whole session here because I want to sort of, go back and forth with you with Chatty. And what I was thinking of doing today, let me just get my notes up here, was teaching people how to use AI to leverage books, the lessons in books, the lessons in masterclasses, the lessons in life. And, the whole premise of today's discussion is to document more than you promote. Really focusing on, teaching and leading with value around that content and how to leverage AI in that space to teach more than you promote, right? So most people, in the network marketing space, affiliate marketing space, we see it all the time. And actually, the main reason that I started the Laptop Lifestyle Dads community is to get away from direct pitching, from link spamming, and to teach and empower and equip people to be leaders in this space, to be able to show them a better way. Because as I say, most people come into it, Dave, like, you hear me say this 1,000 times, we come into this space to, excited about the products, excited about the opportunity, excited about the possibility, and then we go into promote sales pitch mode, right? Because we don't know any better. Dave, just describe your journey on that. Like how, when you first started, what was that experience like for you?
I'd say a lot like everybody in the fact that, pretty much, I guess when I had my agency, I used to do a lot of, cold calling, cold emails, all that sort of stuff. So basically spamming, but from a different point of view. I think you just get excited, about what you're doing, and it's all new, and you think, oh yes, I've got to sell this, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. So,
and everybody else needs to hear about it, right? And everybody needs to hear about this next best thing that I'm shouting off the top of the rooftops.
Exactly right, and get all excited, and you go out and you start messaging people left, right, and center, and then all of a sudden you're thinking, nobody sent me any messages back, or look how many people blocked me.
Yeah, right. And it's like it's the cold calling approach, right? Like how many of us these days really pick up our phone when we don't recognize the number? For me, like I will not answer the phone if I don't recognize the number. I'll let it go through to the voicemail, and if it's important enough, you'll leave me a message, and then I'll get back to you. Because of how many people have tried to cold call me and pitch me and sell me something straight off the back.
Exactly, it's crazy.
So
great phone filter.
Yeah, right. So we put in those boundaries in place. And don't get me wrong, I love a good direct pitch off the back of a relationship, off the back of, of trust, off the back of influence. Now, we don't have to have a deep relationship or a deep connection, or, even depending on your track record, your credibility, your authority, right? So like, hey, if Richard Branson got into my inbox and it was the real Richard Branson, showed up and said, hey, Jeff, I've got this business plan I want you to run by you, and I want you to come partner with me. Now, he's got automatic trust. He's got automatic influence. I'm going to go, oh, crap, hang on, is this really Richard Branson, or is this someone trying to, imitate him? That's probably the first thought that's going to go through my head. Get past that, verify that, and then it's going to go, holy crap, Richard Branson's in my inbox trying to, get me to partner with him. Hang on, this is a no-brainer type conversation. Of course I'm going to say yes. Doesn't even matter what he's selling me.
Yeah,
it could be dog on a shit. It could be dog shit on a stick. And it could be the best thing, right? I'm going to say yes. So yes, there's transferred trust and there's transferred influence in authority, but if you don't know the person, if you've got no context of who the person is and that person doesn't have any credibility or track record, then we've got to slow it down even more, right? And lead with, building trust building exercises to be able to have permission to be able to put the right product in front of the right people. And there's the key, right? It's the permission. So I know, Dave, that's what we've been on a mission on is to empower and equip each other and learn how to be more effective at this game ourselves in what we call value-based marketing. So, Dave, in your terms, in your understanding, how would you describe, value-based marketing?
Well, I guess from my point of view, it would be is you need to get your content from that out. You need to have some awareness. You need to provide value to the people that are following you, or your niche, or whatever you want to call them, your audience. Is giving them value, but taking them along the story. So I guess it comes back to the customer value journey. So you can't get stuck in one part of it. So you've got to provide that value. You've got to build that trust. Then you've got to have those conversations. And then once you get to that point and you actually know them a bit better and they know you and they start to trust you because you've given them things, or they can see that you're providing value in the community, and then then you can open up with the conversation, and still probably you're still not direct pitching them. You're inviting them into the conversation. So yeah, that's
Correct.
how I see it anyway. So.
Yeah. And it's a beautiful interpretation. Thank you, mate. And where would you say is the best place to come learn to get value-based marketing, to learn how to master it?
There's only one place. It's the LMD Academy.
See what I did there, guys? Did a bit of a cheeky little promotion. But see, that's okay, because now that promotion is not actually out of my lips. It's a recommendation from Dave. And yes, Dave's one of our coaches, but he's one of my protege students in that space to be able to step up and serve. And, that's promotion done right off the back of permission, off the back of influence, off the back of trust. So, promoting, putting the right product in front of the right people at the right time, and this is what value-based marketing does for us, is it helps us to create trust. It helps us to create authority. It helps us to create a connection. Another term that you could put in here is education. People buy from people they learn from. When people say, wow, I never thought of it that way, or whatever it is that, you help them to have a light bulb moment, what's happening in that space and the psychology of it all, people are moving closer to you. You're building more trust with them. You're building a deeper connection with them because you were the person that helped them to think of that new light bulb. There starts to become an association inside of that conversation, right? There starts to become a buy-in with this process. If you put up every post about buy this, join me, just like the cold calling, like we talked about, people tune out. People look at the things and go, oh, you're just here to sell me. But if every post that you put up, or 95% of your posts that you put up, teaches them something helpful, they lean in and they trust you. We spoke about the other day about the trust bank. Dave, do you want to just quickly just recap what the trust bank is?
Now you're putting me on the spot. I just woke up. Yeah.
I'm seeing if you're paying attention.
Yeah, I'll try my best. Well, you've got to be you need to build trust with people. So you need to get to know them. They need to get to know you. It's like you said earlier. I guess at the end of the day, if I just jump into your inbox and say, Jeff, I've got this great offer for you. Have a look at it. If you don't know me, you're going to go, who the hell are you? But
there's no
if I've
trust,
taken
right?
the
There's no connection. There's no rapport.
So, but if I've taken the time to have some conversations with you, build up some trust with you, whether through conversations, but also through maybe providing some value for you, something I've taught you along the way, or giving you access to something that's been able to solve a problem for you. Then I'm building up that trust. Once I've got that trust built up, then we can have the conversation. But again, like you're really big on, it's not a matter of pitching straight to them. It's more of an invite. So you've got to invite them into the conversation to see if they're interested. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, no, and beautiful take. Nonetheless, you have been paying attention. That's awesome. No, it's about building the trust.
I hope so.
It's about building that trust, and it's about knocking on the door, right? Seek and knock, and when the door opens, we walk through to the next stage. But we've got to build it off the back of that trust. And g'day, Mark. Thanks for tuning in. So thought leadership also helps us to stand out more as well. If we really lean into documenting more than we promote, teaching more than we sell, educating more than we pitch, we can really help us to stand out above the crowd, because what is everybody else really doing, right? When everybody's zigging, find the way to zag. And learn, when you get to be in this space as well, you get to leverage what you're learning to position yourself as the guide. There's the key. We're all somebody's guide on the journey. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be the one who's got all of the $1 million sale track record or anything like that, right? All you need to be in this position is just one step ahead. And, this is why, people like Gary Vaynerchuk, if you look at his journey, for the last 20 odd years online, he started off as a nobody wine sales rep. And he just got on and he talked about the different flavors of the wines, the different, the notes, and he just started documenting the wine. And then all of a sudden he's now started to explode. And off the back of that, he's just been showing up every day, sometimes 10, 15, 20 times a day, and you're in your social media feed. And look what he's built. But what he's done, if you really study the masters at this, is they document more than they promote. And they're just sort of just sharing their lessons, their stories, their experiences, their struggles, their vulnerability, their rawness of it all, and basically sharing the hero's journey. Every day, every conversation, every scenario is a new page, is a new chapter, is a new sentence in the book of your personal brand. So let me just quickly just go show my screen here for a second. And Dave, I want you to put me on the spot here a little bit. And what's a really good book that you're reading right now that's a popular book that everybody else is reading, or you have read in the past? Because what I want to do is I want to show people how to leverage AI to create some content, to be able to create content from this documentation education, process. And this is how I use AI to support some of the conversations and documentation content that I create. So without me, using the books that I'm reading or anything like that. So, Dave, put me on the spot. What's a book that you want to,
Well, I would like to. I've only started reading it, but nobody else would know about it because I think I showed you the other day, and it was sent to me specifically. But Sell Like Crazy, probably one of them.
Sell Like Crazy. So King Kong Marketing, right?
Yeah.
All right. So can you see my screen there? You should be able to see ChatGPT.
Yep. Certainly can.
Yep. All right. Let's go start a whole new chat. Okay. All right. So hey, Chatty. I am reading the book Sell Like Crazy. I want you to help me unpack the main key lessons in a book review for me, so I can share my key insights alongside them to create content for today to serve my target market. Now, let's see what this says. This definitely sounds like me, Boom Sauce. I think I've got to get that printed on a shirt. Don't sell products, sell appointments and conversations. There you go, straight away. Like, that's a hook. You know, your job isn't to sell your product. Your job is to generate leads and convert them into conversations that lead to sales. Most people try to, go straight in for the kill, pitching their product, door-to-door vacuum cleaner, salesman. But Sabri, he flips the script. You know, he teaches the real goal of marketing is lead generation and conversions, not hard selling. So, okay, cool. All right. So we've got the key insights here. Money's in the funnel, not the product. Don't be cute, be clear. Lead with value, the 80-20-20 rule. Create a Godfather offer so good that they can't refuse. Traffic is useless, if your funnel sucks. Right, so there we go. Like there's 5 content pieces that I can create off the back of this now. So let's now just go ahead and I'm going to copy and paste. Actually, I'm going to talk to Chatty for a second. Let me just make sure I'm sharing the sound with you all so you can hear Chatty talking back to me. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to ask Chatty to create a post on number 2. Don't be cute, be clear. And watch what I do here. I'm going to actually, share a couple of other books that I've read in the past that sort of really help reinforce this and share a story that a personal experience to be able to turn this into like a document type post to be able to speak to my audience's heart. So now this is what we do, right? We learn from a master, we learn from a teacher, we read a book, we listen to a podcast, we come to a masterclass, and we're learning, and if we can share these lessons with our audience and help them to, get that lesson, then we become the person who they become associated with teaching them that lesson. And then that lesson gets reinforced by them going to read the book. But we become the bridge, right? We become the tool, the vehicle that help to start that conversation. And, because you're that guide on that journey, then there's a law of reciprocity. Yeah, sorry, I had to speak that word out. Law of reciprocity, right? Gets out there. And so people want to recognize you for that person that helped them to get where they are. And they feel grateful for that. And they, in that gratitude, that, you're getting some micro, trust. You're building that trust. And then when you build that relationship and then you put the right product in front of the right people at the right time, this is one of the most powerful ways that I've learned how to build trust, is to share stories, to share lessons, to be the person of value in their life that they recognize as the person of influence to lead them on that path. So I use books, I use other people's content. I'm a high school dropout. I'm not a master's or a PhD or a doctor in this space yet. Maybe I will be one day. But, through this collection of stories, through these collections of lessons, I've been able to then go and experiment and do the whole learn, do, teach. And then I start to come up with my own lessons, my own experiments, my own things that I can combine other people's stuff together to make the Jeff Ross lesson. All we're doing, this is what everybody's been doing for centuries, for millennia, is building on the shoulders of giants. There is nothing new under the sun. And so it's been able to then be the person of influence that has been the person that is on the guide one step ahead of them. So be the first to the marketplace. Be the first to read the book. Be the first to listen to that podcast. Be the first to go out there and share that lesson with your community. And so you be the first to be top of mind to become that person of authority in their eyes. So this is just one of those shortcuts that I like to use to be able to help do this. So I'm going to just say, Chatty, I'm going to create me a post around don't be cute, be key. Hey, Chatty, how are you today? So I want you to help me to create a post, that speaks to my audience's heart of affiliate and network marketers, really highlighting point 2 in the book on sell like crazy around don't be, cute, be clear. I want you to also bring in the lessons that Donald Miller has in, Story Brand, and what Simon Sinek says was start with why. And in my own personal experience, like, when I was first step to be a marketer in this space, I read all the books and I thought to step out and to be different, I needed to be cute. I needed to be clever. I needed to look out like, oh, wow, Jeff, like that is such a clever statement. And how did you come up with that? And so what I found was like I got recognition for being clever, but I didn't get anywhere, any results. It actually frustrated people, actually confused people. And, yes, people thought it was clever, but then they had no clarity or simplicity to take the next step. So I've learned how to communicate to caterpillars at caterpillar levels. I've had to learn how to communicate to people, meet them where they're at, and essentially learn to really dumb it down to make sure that, even the 10-year-old in the room or my grandmother in the room could understand simply and have the clarity to take the next step forwards, because a confused mind takes no action, right? So, Chatty, can you help me just to share my personal experience and some of the key insights around some of the masters, say like Donald Miller, Simon Sinek, and Sabri in this book, Sell Like Crazy, and then help me to turn this into like a value-based post that's documenting my lessons in my journey to speak directly to my audience's heart, to serve them, to give them something of value, to position me as that person who has brought this main lesson to their lives, to lead and guide and teach them, to help me to build influence and trust with them. Can you help me to pull that together, please, Chatty?
Absolutely, mate. Let's craft a post that really speaks to your audience and reflects your journey. Here's how we can approach it. Why clarity beats cleverness every time. My journey from confusion to clarity. When I first found myself stepping into the affiliate network marketing space, I thought being clever was the key to standing out. I wanted people to see my content and think, wow, that's clever. But here's the truth. Cleverness can be a trap. A confused mind takes no action. Here's what I learned. Like Donald Miller teaches in StoryBrand, clarity is king. And it all starts with why. Thank you, Simon Sinek. Your audience needs to understand in the simplest terms how you can help them. Sabri Subi's Sell Like Crazy reinforced this for me. Your job isn't to impress. It's to be crystal clear and guide them to the next step. My takeaway? I realized that simplifying my message was more powerful than trying to be the cleverest marketer in the room. So here's my advice. Be clear, not cute. Call to action. If you're feeling overwhelmed with your messaging, let's connect. Together, we can turn confusion into clarity and get you on the path to success. Shoot me a message and let's chat.
All right. So you don't even need to have that call to action in every single post, but it's about being that person of value to really, help to educate the masses, to be the guide on that journey. And, that's all Dave and I and Jade, that's all we really teach is to teach you how to build your personal brand, to how to become a person of influence, to be able to help you to define your mission, your purpose, your core values, and how to leverage AI in this space to go and create amazing content that takes people on that customer value journey to help you to become that person of influence that builds trust with your connected community. So then you can put the right product in front of the right people at the right time. Now, this is not an overnight success story, but I know like people like Joanne Rolls who signed up for our 30-day Shoply affiliate challenge, came along for the ride and was able to, introduce us to an amazing person who we're now doing their marketing for them. And because of that referral, she's now earned herself a $300 commission. We've got Joanne Cameron, we've got Mark Murray, we've got BK, we've got stories after stories after stories of people on this journey, learning how to become people of authority, building their personal brands, and we've got stories from people like, Craig Whitney, who's just gone all in with us, who's now stepping up to be a speaker trainer and to now, looking at, starting his own podcast and getting that up and running to be able to help him to build and document his journey and to build influence. Who else we've got? We've got a new client, that we've just brought on in the skincare products and, teaching them to, to be ambassadors and have ambassador programs and affiliates for their products. So they're not just selling themselves, right through to, our academy students who are, like Barbie Bolden in Perth, who's been a Juice Plus rep for a little while now and had a taste of success in this space, but been frustrated because she's just been an ambassador for another company, not actually building her personal brand and learning how to position the right product on the right shelf for her so people come to her and build trust with her, not just because of Juice Plus. And Juice Plus are great products, don't get me wrong. So is Dream Trip, so is Amari, so is, Shopley, I'm a main investor for Shopley, and they're just great. They're really great products, but that's all they are. They're products on our shelf. People come and do business with us. People come and connect with us. So let's put our best foot forward first. Let's go be the bridge to these amazing products and become people of influence and build the trust with our people. And let's keep going. And Brian, as your comment there, I may be slow, but I get the job done. Man, it doesn't matter how fast you are at this game. The tortoise still won the race. When you talk about the tortoise and the hare, right? What matters is that you have resilience, that you stick it out, that you are consistent, that you show up and you shine day in, day out, that you put yourself in a position to serve, that you put yourself in a position to guide, that you put yourself in a position to build influence and trust with your people. And then by doing that consistently, day in, day out, that's where you'll see exponential growth eventually. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And then so that's what we offer here with the Laptop Lifestyle Dads community. It's trust, it's influence, it's community, it's strategy, it's doing life together, locking arms and building this together. Because just like I've just shown you, you can go and get knowledge freely if you know the right tools and the right strategies and the right guidance to go figure that out. Knowledge is becoming worth $0, but people pay for trust, they pay for influence, they pay for connection, they pay for community. Dave, before we wrap up today's masterclass, like I know you've got some great wisdom to share in this space as a content creator and someone who's, in the ground level, in trenches, building their influence as they go. What would be one takeaway that you'd love our audience to really lean in? If you had, last couple of minutes to teach and give our audience one takeaway, what would that be?
Based on today's lesson, just that there's so many places that you can get content from, whether it be a book, an experience, YouTube videos, blog posts, websites. There's no excuses, really.
No, there really isn't.
They're so simple to get them. I mean, get it out of your head as well, and by learning how to use the AI to help, then you can really, transform that into your story. You're not plagiarizing anything, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just taking their context and you're putting it into your story. So, and that's coming from you. And, it's just amazing how fast you can, produce content these days to be able to get stuff out there. I guess the content used to be the roadblock, and then the images were the roadblock, but you can, there's hundreds of free image places you can get them from, but you can create amazing images with AI these days as well. So, there is just literally no excuses.
There is
there's nothing to stop you from being consistent, getting your message out there, sharing knowledge with the world, and getting your brand, out there to people. That it's just not. I don't want to hear.
I love that. And so you've heard it from Dave. There are no excuses. So and look, I'm actually reflecting back, right when we first started, Dave, my mission, with the 3-day, the 5-day boot camps and all that sort of thing was to eliminate excuses around lack of content. So all you had to do was sell, right? Just to give people the tools, to empower them, to equip them. So like they this whole excuse around overwhelm around content creation or procrastination around content creation or lack of, or too much, or not, that space and whatnot around content creation. But I'm sitting here today reflecting, and I think, hey, we've actually achieved that mission. We've got something that is here that is very sexy and serving a lot of people. But I know with what we do with the Laptop Lifestyle Dads Academy, like that achieves that mission. It eliminates that excuse altogether, right?
Yeah, and it actually rings true from the very first 3-day challenge that I did with you, when you show people how to make a content calendar, and plan it out, because that's what it comes back to. You need to know what content you want, you need to plan it out, and then just go and make it. I mean, you can do a week's worth of content, even if you're doing 5 posts a day, you can do a week's worth of content in a matter of maybe an hour. And that's good if you've done everything right and you use AI correctly, then it's good quality content, and it'll also sound like you and won't be generic garbage. Like I said, no excuses. Come join us at
That's
the
it.
LAC Academy. Learn how to do it properly, learn how to do it fast, and get your brand out there to the world.
That's it. Brilliant, man. Love working with you in this space. And Mark, reach out to me one-on-one, mate. We can answer that question, or go back to your calendar. Champion should be in your calendar. But yeah, look, talking about booking in a chat with me. We love to connect. We're obsessed with helping with people in this space. So if you'd like to discover or explore what it looks like to work with us, come check out the Laptop Lifestyle Dads Academy that we've been talking about. My Calendly link, I just put it in the comments there for you below. 15-minute coffee chat with me. At the very least, let's connect and let's swap stories and do the introduction to be able to get to know each other better. And then we'll explore what it looks like to see if what we have is a good fit for you, and go down that rabbit hole together. But hey, thank you very much for your time. Stay caffeinated, stay legendary. We'll be back tomorrow for day 25 of our 30-day Shopley Affiliate Challenge. This has been an amazing ride. Thanks, Joanne, for going along with the ride from us right from the beginning. Sorry, your question is here, Jeff. Is it appropriate to pop in the original chat you had with Chatty, please? That was awesome. Yeah, I can do that for you. So let me just go copy and paste that for you in a second, and let's wrap this up.
Well, the thing is while you're doing that, people just got to realise that, it's even for less than a cup of coffee a day, they can join us at the academy and get thousands of dollars worth of, information and training out of it. So it's not even about that, about the thousands of dollars worth. They can come and just meet and hang out with a great group of people, get involved with the community, and then, learn from some of the best people in the business. So what more can I say? It's just, a no-brainer. It's, yeah.
Sure was.
$47 a month.
Nah, well, absolute privilege. Let's keep rocking and rolling. Let's keep shining. Let's keep documenting the journey. Let's keep serving together. And let's keep getting out of Sucksville and climbing the Mount Awesome Town and take people with us. We can go a lot further together. All right. Thanks for your time. Bye for now.